on the Spot. We update you this week on Xbox Live, demo Sims Medieval, take a tour around Slightly Mad Studios, and give some tips and hints for Dragon Age 2. Today on the Spot.
Hello everybody and welcome to Today on the Spot for Thursday, March 17th, 2011. I'm your host, Sean McInnes. This is Sophia Tong. Sophia, it's March 17th. That means it is St. Patrick's Day.
It is.
Which is, generally a time for celebration and jubilation and merriment in general. But before we, jump headfirst into celebrating, we've got some serious news to talk about, right?
Right. So by now you guys all know about the earthquakes and tsunamis and nuclear problems in Japan, and there is a way for us to help. On top of the GameSpot page, we have a banner to take you to a CBS page to show you different locations where you can donate money. So this will help people get supplies, food, water, all the essentials to survive. So, please donate if you can. I've already donated. It's really easy. Just go to the website. You can text. You can also go to Amazon, whatever way is easiest.
That's right, Sophia. And, we know that not everybody can afford to donate. But if you can, it would be a very nice thing to do. So let's go ahead and kick off the show, as usual, with the latest headlines.
Hello, everyone. This is your GameSpot news update for Thursday, March 17th. I'm Tom Magrino. Sony's NGP is shaping up to be pretty swank as far as handhelds go, what with its Wi-Fi, 2 cameras, built-in GPS, and 16:9 15-inch OLED touchpad on its caboose. How much would you pay for this device? $250? What if it had 3G? Would you go as high as $350? These are the questions that Ubisoft has reportedly asked some gamers in a survey leaked online this week. The leading questions ostensibly point to a tiered pricing scheme for the NGP based on whether it has 3G connectivity or not. Unfortunately, Sony dismissed the survey as pure speculation and did not indicate whether the US, like Europe, would see a 3G and non-3G NGP model when the system goes on sale this holiday. In other news, THQ was mauled by a bear rush of investor panic earlier this week, after reviews of Homefront fell squarely in the it's alright category. After a wild-eyed sell-off that resulted in the publisher's stock losing 21% of its value on Tuesday, THQ moved to allay investors' fears by announcing that the game had sold 375,000 units during its first 24 hours in North America alone. Okay, one more because it totally involves a pie chart. The ESRB has released its annual breakdown of classifications for 2010, and as a percentage, there were less M-rated games last year than in 2009. Only 5% of games in 2010 received a mature rating, down from 6% in 2009. As for the rest, 55% of the games were rated E, 21% were T for teen, and everyone 10-plus games were 18%. Early childhood games represented the small slice of the pie, coming in at just 1%. All right, everyone, that does it for today. For more on these stories and other news headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
Thank you for the update on the news, Tom Magrino. Now, Sophia, it's been a couple weeks since GDC. We've sort of had some time to settle in and think about it, and we're back to sort of doing our regular show schedule.
Yeah.
Whereas we did do a couple live shows during GDC. We heard a lot of feedback that people really enjoy the live shows. What do you think?
Yeah, the live show is really exciting. We actually have done quite a few, like the Nintendo event, Microsoft, and then GDC. There's a certain energy to that and being able to interact with the audience,
You're right,
through Twitter, Facebook, all those other means of communication.
Exactly. In fact, we heard so much feedback from you guys on the live shows that we're looking to hear a little bit more. See what you guys think if you want to form a few opinions on, whether maybe we should do some more live shows in the future. So you can either leave us comments on the page right here, or you can go to facebook.com/GameSpot. Tell us what you think if you guys want us to do more live shows in the future, because we definitely want to know what you guys have to say. And moving on with the show, let's check out This Week on Xbox Live.
This week on Xbox Live, in Arcade, grab your best stunner shades and try your hand at Full House Poker. Play Texas Hold'em against your friends and thousands of other players worldwide. Bring your personality to the table with unique tells and enjoy a host of unlockable content. In Games on Demand, pick up your DMR and get to work in Halo Reach. Before the Covenant was defeated on Earth, an epic battle took place for Planet Reach. Join Noble Team on a desperate mission to save their home. Speaking of saving the planet, hop in your Spitfire and play Heroes over Europe. Defend London against the devastating blitz of Axis forces. Fight over the English Channel during the Battle of Britain and strike enemy ground targets deep in the heart of the Third Reich. Finally, hit the lakes and rivers of America and Rapala Fishing Frenzy. Put your angling skills to the test in order to send aquatic life to its doom. In game demos, brush up on your moves in the Dance Central demo. Using the controller-free Kinect system, dance along with some of your favorite hip-hop tracks. Then get snarky in the You Don't Know Jack demo. Play alone or with friends, and match wits on trivia covering everything from pop music to the Pope. In downloadable content, Dance Central adds a host of songs and dance moves, and Halo extends its reach with the Defiant map pack. In Video Marketplace, Dungeon Siege 3 drops a loyalty trailer, and Operation Flashpoint Red River gives you the Nox biography. That's all the time we have, folks. Join us next week for more This Week on Xbox Live.
All right, and that was This Week on Xbox Live. Now, Sophia, I've been having some problems at home lately, and I know what you're thinking. Not those kind of problems. Actually, I've been playing Dragon Age 2, and I keep getting killed all the time. I'm just dying left and right. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do.
Are you getting killed by a dragon?
I'm getting killed by dragons and dwarves and leprechauns and other such animals.
Well, you're in luck, because Curtis actually put together a tips and hints segment, so let's check it out.
Curtis here to give you some tips and hints for Dragon Age 2. Because each character you meet has limited and missing abilities, you want to diversify your party with as many different members as you can. During Act 1, there are 2 optional characters you can pick up, Fenris and Isabella. If you miss your chance to recruit either of them, they'll disappear for good. To gain Fenris, first head to Gamlen's house and read the letter Bait and Switch to start the corresponding quest. Head to Lowtown at night and talk to the dwarf Anso and learn about your task.
Are you Anso?
Move to Lowtown's elven alienage and enter the abandoned shack. There are a few explosive traps and a few bandits lurking inside. The real danger comes when you exit the building. You'll be surrounded on all sides by Tevinter slavers that you'll want to kill off with magic and other area effect damage. After the fight, you'll meet with Fenris, who has another task for you. Head to Hightown and into Daenerys' hideout. Fenris will lock himself into your party, but don't worry, he's a powerful two-handed warrior that can hold his own against the enemies inside. After clearing the stronghold, Fenris will join your party, though he'll walk away from the active group. Head to any party flag, such as in the Hanged Man or the Viscount's Keep, to reinsert him into the party. To recruit Isabella, you'll first need to complete the main quest Tranquility to acquire maps to the Deep Roads. Once gaining these key items, head to the Hanged Man in Lowtown and meet with a pirate. Talking to her directly will start up the side quest Fools Rush In. Travel to Hightown at night and help Isabella kill the guards around the area. Since she's an NPC, Isabella will be nearly immune to most damage. She'll eventually lead you to the Chantry, where one last battle will commence. Afterwards, she'll join your party. Keeping her loyal is much more important than most other party members, though. Work on establishing a friendship or rivalry before the end of Act 2, or you might be out of rogue. In the second to last main quest, both Aveline and Isabella will ask for your help. Listen to Isabella first and head to Lowtown at night to start the quest. Battle through some Quinari and agree with Isabella to let her keep the rewards. She'll scamper off, leaving you to deal with both Tevinter mages and Quinari warriors in a 3-way battle. Outside, you'll only find a letter revealing that she's made her escape. With enough loyalty and the right answers at the end of Act 2, Isabella will show up again.
She's gone then.
There are 3 solutions to easing the tension with the Quinari. Let them take Isabella hostage, duel the Aeroshock one-on-one with Hawk, or kill every last Quinari in sight. Opting to end it without bloodshed will leave you without a party member, so consider fighting the Quinari in some fashion. Dueling the Aeroshock is easy for ranged mages and rogues, but can be brutal for melee classes. When all else fails, use your entire party to take down the whole group of enemies. Another party member who might see an untimely departure is your sibling, Bethany or Carver. You should listen to your mother's advice and understand that there is little chance for your kin to survive the Deep Roads. If you opt to keep them out of the party at the end of Act 1, they will live on. Bethany will join the Circle of Magi, and Carver will become a Templar.
I hope you're right.
However, there's a second solution. Bring both your sibling along with the Grey Warden Anders. After your sibling is infected with the corruption, Anders will be able to sense the Warden Stroud further in the Deep Roads. Fight through a few darkspawn and meet with the warden. Bethany or Carver will survive the joining and will be able to return to your side in Act 3 as a Grey Warden. But remember, keep any party member's loyalty high with friendships or rivalries, or you might find them on the other end of the battlefield. That about covers it for optional characters. If you want to find out more secrets, check out the Dragon Age 2 game guide. Later.
Game Demo!
All right, welcome to today's daily demo. Joining us is Aaron from EA. Welcome aboard, Aaron.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So you brought something with you today.
I've brought The Sims Medieval with me.
Okay, and The Sims Medieval. This is not your grandfather's Sims game, is that right?
This is not your grandfather. It's in theory your great grandfather's The Sims. It's The Sims Medieval. We've taken everything people love about The Sims, taken it to the Middle Ages, a big, dramatic, epic time, and added some features that change the way you play The Sims. We've added heroes, quests, and kingdom, and we'll see some of that today.
So this is a very different, for the folks watching home, this is a very different, I think, step in a very different direction for The Sims. I mean, instead of being this open-ended kind of life simulator where you create these people and then kind of let them have jobs or relationships or what have you, it seems like it's very directed. You have characters who are kind of always on quests, and you're trying to earn these kingdom points to develop your kingdom and, I guess, unlock new characters and eventually get a high score at the end, because unlike any other game in the Sims series, Medieval actually has like an end screen that says, hey, you accomplished this many quests.
You could win,
these many
yes.
points, yeah. Okay, so very different game, and I guess we've got the game running here. Is that right?
That's true. We do have the game running.
Let's take a look.
So this particular demo, there's a lot of features in The Sims Medieval. This particular demo is all about the professions. There are 10 professions. We're going to talk about a few of those today. So we will zoom on into our throne room. Here we are in the king's throne room. This is where the king hangs out. Over to the right is that's his table where he writes laws. Right there where you can see the scribe sitting. Then up, just above that is the diplomatic table. He can declare wars and as well as negotiate treaties. There's where the king takes his meals, a very sort of plain looking dining room. Now to the left, it's a very different looking room. That's the king's bedroom. And I threw that in there because I want to show off customization. We're not going to see a lot of customization in the demo, but all the great customization tools of The Sims 3 are in The Sims Medieval. So if you're a customizer and a creative person, you're going to love The Sims Medieval. So we'll go back into the throne room and start talking about professions. Our first profession we're going to talk about is the wizard. Every profession in The Sims Medieval has a specialty, something they're really good at, something that they'll level up and get better at. Wizards or sorceresses, should you have a female, cast spells. And right now our wizard is going to cast a spell called Inferno on our poor king. Now the spell system includes everything from blessing to heal to teleport, so you have oh, there he goes. Oh!
Well, he doesn't like that, does he?
No, the king took a hit there, and you'll see the king actually took some damage, so much damage that he is now in his hospital clothes. He should really get to the clinic and speak to the physician, but he's not going to. The king, now we're talking about the king has many powers, one of which is to punish people. He is going to send the wizard to a little place we call the Pit of Judgment. The Pit of Judgment is where bad Sims go, Sims who don't keep up with their job, or Sims you just feel like getting rid of at the time. So the constable will come in, he will approach the wizard, give him what for? What? No, not me. I didn't do it. Oh. And then we'll zip down to the judgment area, and you'll see you could put Sims in stocks, you could throw tomatoes and eggs at them. The pit is where the pit beast lives. He's a giant blue tentacled monster. We actually haven't seen the whole monster, we've only seen tentacles come out of that particular pit. Now, normally when you throw Sims into the pit, they're going to get eaten. There's a bit of a fight and they get smashed. He's a high-level wizard, and so something different's going to happen. When you put high-level characters in there, they put up a much better fight. And so you're seeing the wizard actually casting spells and defending himself. And I don't know the outcome. As with all Sims games, the Sims have free will. They have a mind of their own, and I don't know exactly what's going. He might die, he might live. There might be some mini games to play as he's wrestling around with the pit beast. But on with the rest of our demo. So we'll come back to him later. If he dies, we'll get a sign that lets us know. Our next hero we will talk about is the spy. So the spy, he's really good at eavesdropping. He can collect information on other territories. One of the ways he makes money, and that's one of the reasons you have a profession, aside from getting good at certain abilities and skills, is you gain money. He could actually pickpocket. So he'll tell the king to look over there, and swoop, right out of the back pocket. And now the spy has earned some simoleons, and another cool thing the spy can do is poison people. He's also an assassin. So earlier in the game, he crafted a poison called Reaper's Scythe, and he could poison literally anyone in this castle. Now, everything we're seeing is very high-level gameplay. We've smashed a lot of high-level moments together, so a player won't see all this so close together, but a player can achieve all this as they play through the game. So the spy pours a little drinky drink, and it doesn't smell very good at all. And then we'll compress time a little bit as the spy zips over to his victim, who is the spy poisoning? The spy is leaving the room. The spy has gone upstairs. As with all demos with The Sims, things happen that you can't quite put a demo on rails with The Sims. Looks like our master builder is going to take the goblet of poison, and he's going to find a comfy chair to sit in. There he goes. And he'll take a hit off that. The spy is just, oh, that didn't taste very good at all. And, oh, and cue the Grim Reaper. Now, the medieval Grim Reaper obviously looks very different from the Grim Reaper from The Sims 3. He's got a few more things going on. He's very medieval. Our spy finds that to be very amusing. So, as you can see, it's a pretty dangerous place. And so in the dangerous kingdom of The Sims Medieval, you need fighters. And we have our good knight right there. And one of the things that knights can do, our demo driver has a challenge now because the spy has left the room. And as with demoing The Sims is always a challenge because they go where they want to go. She's going to challenge the king to a duel. She throws down the gauntlet. The king accepts that challenge, and he will get ready to fight. They get in their fighting clothes. Now this brings up a very good point. Is this the first time you've seen The Sims take out weapons and try and hurt each other? Right. You've never seen them do that before. And there's a full fighting system. So I'm choosing between defensive stances. I could actually choose special moves. And as my knight levels up, and she's a level 10 knight, so she knows everything about combat. She could actually do a whirling takedown. And as they fight on, you're actually keeping track of health and stamina. And the combat system will really come into play as you're playing through certain quests. It's very important to be victorious in key battles. So, as you can see, it's a dangerous place, and because it's a dangerous place, you need a physician. We will come out of the throne room, zoom off to the right, and in we go to visit our doctor. Doctor is a very important physician because Sims get the plague. Sims get hurt. Sims get all kinds of weird diseases. Our doctor can craft potions and medicines at her crafting table. She could put people on that operating table and attend to their various injuries. But very quickly, she can diagnose. And so she will diagnose that Sim there, who seems otherwise occupied. There she goes. Take a good look at her. Check out the tongue. How's that arm doing? And she is diagnosed with infected. Oh, that's bad news. As with all diseases in the medieval times, leeches to the face will pretty much cure you. Does good. I love having leeches on my face. I appreciate that. And so the doctor, as she levels up, will get much better at healing people, and your citizenry will become much healthier if you have a doctor. Now we're visiting our blacksmith. There's a couple points we make here with the blacksmiths. One is all these heroes that we're meeting, I've created, I've dressed, I've given names, I've also given traits to. Every hero has 2 regular traits and 1 fatal flaw. In this case, the fatal flaw is that he's a drunkard. So I actually had to put a keg of beer right there in the background because he would otherwise get distracted and run off to the bar. So he is now going to craft a sword. That brings up another system in The Sims Medieval, is that there is a full crafting system. He could make very high-end weapons and armor based on with elements and minerals he's mined for. Some of these are very hard to find, very difficult to get. But we're going to craft a very rudimentary longsword now. He just has a little bit of iron. And this is another separation from The Sims 3 in that in The Sims 3, the professions, they kind of went into a building and you didn't see them work. In The Sims Medieval, every profession, you're actually manipulating the Sim. So I can make decisions. If the fire is too cold, I could add more coal. If the sword that he's working on gets too hot, I could have him come out and have him pound it. And I can control him to get the best result.
Yeah, Aaron, so it looks like in the upper left corner there's heat, quality, progress. How does that stuff work?
So with heat, I want to keep that needle in the gold there. So if it gets too low, I'll make the sim. Now he's a high-level blacksmith, so he kind of knows what he's doing. If he were level 1 or level 2, he might not be so great at his job. So I'll say, put some coal in there and get the heat up.
Right.
If the heat gets too high, then I'll actually have him pound out on the anvil there. And the quality will go, every time the heat gets too high or too low, the quality will go down. And eventually the progress will go to 100%, and I'll get a higher quality sword or a lower quality sword, depending on how I've manipulated my blacksmith.
So there are going to be some of these kind of mini games for kind of all of the crafting.
All the crafting, pretty much every professor has some sort of sub-game that you can manipulate to get better results. So that's our blacksmith and a little bit about our crafting system. Right over here, we'll talk a little about the merchant system and the way people buy and sell goods. So our merchant is a very handy guy to have around, because along with that crafting system is a big collection game, and a lot of the collection involves running around the kingdom finding things. The merchant can do a lot of that work for you. So he can import things from distant lands, he can import things from the neighboring town. So all the things that are on sale at the store, he's actually gone out and acquired. And sometimes you get very rare items you can't get any other way. So you might get a rare potion or a rare weapon or an instrument with interesting qualities for your bard. So it's very handy to have a merchant in your kingdom. And we'll move on to our next profession. We'll zip right around. We'll take a quick stop at, we'll see some people practicing the royal sport of king ball. It's the sport of kings in the Sims Medieval. Over here to the right, this is also the training yard. If you want to get your knight leveled up, or your spy, or even your king, all the combat level Sims, they could train here at the training yard. We'll zip off to the right, and we see two churches. On the left are the Jacobins. They're very, very serious, very, very strict. Both religions can give sermons in their churches. They collect funds, and they seek to influence the kingdom and win over all the hearts of the citizenry. The Jacobins, because they're so strict and so into obedience, they do that through fear. One of the ways they spread fear is they put up proclamations. They love new rules. And so this proclamation will be pounded to the signpost, and the proclamation has been made, and it went away, but you could see the fear meter actually going up. And so the Jacobins are all about scaring people, where to the right, much more friendly church. Peace, love, happiness. They're a poorer church. However, they are much more gentle in their methods, and we'll have our Pateran priest begin to evangelize. And you see, as he evangelizes, he's actually becoming more popular, he's gaining experience, and people are listening. He might actually get converts. So if you want to move the story of your kingdom in the religious direction, you'll find that this conflict becomes very interesting. There are certain quests that really bring this conflict to light. So a little bit about our two religions and our two religious professions. And we'll finish up with our tavern, and in the tavern is our bard. Now, bards are a really interesting profession because they perform. They make people feel good. And in medieval times, people can get kind of bummed out. There's plagues, there's wars, there's trade. There's so many things that can kind of make people a little bit sad. The bard, when he performs, and as a level 10 bard, he can perform any song in the catalog. His name is Kanye East. And as he rocks out there, you can see people begin to dance. They're going to be in better moods. They might make friends a little bit better. The bard can perform songs as well as write and perform plays. And when he performs a play, you can actually see other Sims get on stage and perform with him. So all these professions, you will level up these characters. You bring them into the kingdom one at a time as you're playing through the quest system, building your kingdom with all these hero Sims, telling new stories, bringing in new quests, and it becomes a very unique experience. As you mentioned, The Sims Medieval does have a lot of directed gameplay, but the tone of the directed gameplay, the directions that you take it, you have so many choices and options depending on the hero Sims you choose and the paths you seek to take. Your experience is going to be very unique depending on your play style and your goals for your kingdom. So that's just a little bit about The Sims Medieval, and so we will go back to our castle, and the sun will go down on one more demo of The Sims Medieval. A small taste.
Yeah, and Aaron, I'm going to let you finish. Let you finish. But for the folks watching at home, that was a great look at The Sims Medieval. And actually, today's trivia question will give you a chance to win some great Sims Medieval swag, including a copy of the game. So for those of you at home, get ready for the trivia question. What is the name of the all-seeing, almighty God deity that presides over the world of Sims Medieval? Answer now for your chance to win some cool medieval swag and a copy of the game. So that was a great look at the game, Aaron. Thanks a lot for joining us. Could you remind our viewers at home when the game is coming out and for what platforms?
Sure. The Sims Medieval comes out for PC and Mac on March 22nd, so we hope you enjoy it.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Aaron. Thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned for more show, including possibly some more trivia prizes.
Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the show because we have more Sims Medieval stuff to give away. But before we get to that, Sean, what's next?
Well, Sophia, funny you should ask. Now, this weekend on the show, we took a look at Shift 2, the upcoming racing game from EA and Slightly Mad Studios. Our friends in the UK office actually recently visited the developer and went on a little bit of a tour to find out what exactly makes them slightly mad. So let's find out right now.
Hey guys, I'm Guy Cocker for GameSpot UK, and I'm here just down the road from our London office to come and see Slightly Mad Studios. Now the team is putting the finishing touches to Shift 2 Unleashed, so let's go and meet the designers and check it out.
Hi, I'm Andy Tudor, lead designer at Slightly Mad Studios, and we're here to talk about Shift 2 Unleashed. When we approach this kind of game and a sequel in particular, you want to make sure that you're heading in a very definite direction, but you also want to make sure that you're not just ticking items off a checklist. So although we're kind of playing in the sim racing space, we want to make sure that we're also flipping it on its head as well. So we're not just going to be adding in features just because another game happens to have those. What we want to do is take it back to its roots. You know, that was our approach in Shift 1 as well. It was, you know, we're coming into this area of circuit racing, and the most important thing is being behind the wheel and feeling that you're going fast, which is something that we felt other games hadn't really captured. And that's what then led to the cockpit view. You know, people weren't using the cockpit view. Well, why isn't that? It's the most, it's the iconic, it's the best place to be, behind the wheel in a car. So we had, you know, we looked at those kind of things and realised that, well, it's because it feels like you're in a widescreen letterbox format, because it's so constricting having the sun visor and the wheel and the dashboard in front of you. It felt constricting. Well, we've got to change that. Lots of games have had night racing in the past, but none of them have really done it justice to the feedback that we're getting from real life drivers, our own experiences of night racing. You know, if I was to ask you, for example, like, remember a time when you were driving in the night, you won't probably remember the time when you were nipping out to the supermarket or something. You'll remember that time when you went to visit a friend along a country road and it was absolutely pitch black, and maybe it was a bit foggy, and you had your full beams on and you still couldn't see 2 feet in front of the car. And that's the same kind of feedback that the real drivers are giving us. They're saying, look, I've got this amazing car with these huge high beams and I still can't see the corner coming up. And other games would simply just light the corner up for you with floodlights or great big yellow flashing chevrons to tell you that. Well, you know, that's not a great gameplay experience. It doesn't give you a new level of challenge. So what we want to do is, if we're going to go up against the, you know, people like Forza and GTs, we want to make sure that we do baby steps and make sure that we get everything right from the ground up and do it in this 10 out of 10 way that, you know, people haven't seen before. Any designer's job, and as a lead designer, you have to kind of pull from your own experience and pull from other games and just kind of have that instinct of what is going to be kind of cool and fun. So when it came to night racing and like talking about that and brainstorming with the direction that we're going to go, you know, I was thinking of Resident Evil and things like that, you know, where you're wandering around, you know, and you don't really want to turn that corner because you're not quite sure what's there, and you find yourself as a player walking quite slowly in that case. And Alan Wake, for example, like walking around with a torch, and it's your only kind of survival method You know, and I was thinking, well, that's a scary place, and you've only got this tiny little thing for protection. And you know, when it comes to Shift 2 Unleashed, when you play night racing in the game, you've literally just got your headlights, and with the full damage system that we have now, as soon as those headlights are out, it's a very different experience, and yeah, it brings that kind of fear back into driving. But yeah, you were a bit different from other companies in that, you know, we have a London-based studio, but we have a distributed development model, which means that basically everyone can sit at home and work in their bedroom or their study or their home office or whatever.
You've got Lego, you've got PS3 Need for Speed Shift, but you've also got Masters of the Universe figurines, quite a collection behind us.
Yeah, figurines, I think you'll find them, they are action figures. Yeah. So you've got things like the Lego cars here, you know, we've got all the different types of car that they create, like the muscle cars, and you know, you can even recreate Hot Pursuit if you really want with these kind of things. So yeah, you know, you got, at the end of the day, you got to remember that you're making games for kids, yeah? And as soon as you lose sight of that, then you realise you're only making the game for yourself, and you know, therefore, it's not potentially going to do as well as you hope. We've got our 360 coder in Australia, and one car artist on Reunion Island in South Africa, which is just off the east coast. Another car artist in Florida, you know, and it's great because we only ever get experienced guys to work for us, and it works great for those guys because they've been in the industry for a while longer. They've probably got wives, kids. And it works great as a development model because you can't turn creativity on at 9 o'clock in the morning sometimes. You know, sometimes it comes at 4 in the afternoon. And with a distributed development model, it means that those guys can come online, you know, in Australia time, and it means that you can come in the morning and something's magically been fixed by someone on another time zone. We've had absolutely unprecedented access to all the Team Need for Speed drivers. You know, they're all in different disciplines of time attack, drift, endurance, things like that. Little things like Jamie Campbell-Walter, GT1 driver, coming in and telling us that, you know, when he sat in his Sumo Power Nissan GTR GT1, that the viewpoint that we had in the game was a little bit lower than it was in reality when he sat in the car. So little things like that, you know, we change it, and then he comes back, you know, the next month, and he's like, guys, you got it spot on, and it sounds amazing, and handles amazing, and you know, when you're doing Eau Rouge on Spa in the game, it's absolutely perfect. So yeah, it's great to have those guys on board. You know, other games will say that they've had race drivers helping them, etc. Yeah, you know, not to the extent that we've had access to in Shift 2. One thing we found in Need for Speed Shift was that the fans were making their own game modes, yeah? And one of the most popular game modes that people were making was called Catch Up. Closing the gap. Come on, Mini! So people were going to the Nordschleife, and they were all choosing like really low-end powered cars, so something like a Golf or a Focus or something like that. And then one guy was in a Bugatti Veyron. And what would happen is all the Golfs would set off, and then after a certain amount of time, they'd go, and the Veyron would then set off as well, and then it was who would get to the finish line first. And we were amazed at this, you know, look at what the community guys are doing. You know, we would be playing this mode and thinking, this is absolutely fantastic, you know. So we looked at that and we were like, let's make it official. So now you can play Catch Up Pack. And Catch Up Pack is basically the pack, all are in the same identical cars of the lower performance. And then the chaser is the guy who's in the supercar. And so this kind of reminds you of like the kind of crazy challenges they do on Top Gear, don't they? You know, whether it's a car chasing a boat or a helicopter chasing a train or whatever. You know, this is the same kind of thing. So it's the pack's job to stay out in front and block, you know, the chaser, and the guy who gets to the finish line first is the winner. If a member of the pack gets to the finish line first, they then become the chaser. Easy. The Mini Cooper wins.
And now, folks, it is time for everybody's favorite part of the show. It is our trivia giveaway segment. Sophia, what's going on with this Sims Medieval stuff?
So today is a kind of a special day because we have like triple trivia. I mean, Andrew already gave a question earlier in the show, so if you answer that question, you can win the stuff that's on Sean's desk right now. So it's like copy of the game, t-shirts, crown. The Bloggy Touch, that is something separate. But I also have some more giveaway prizes. It's actually quite a lot, so I'm gonna have to like read the list. But there's actually 2 VIP tickets for next Monday. They're having a Sims Medieval launch event at Buena Park. It's at the Medieval Times restaurant, like if you know, where you get to eat with your hands and like watch knights joust. But anyway, it's pretty cool. So if you live in the SoCal area, you would definitely want to participate in the trivia and probably win those 2 tickets. Along with that, you can also win a copy of the game. You can win a baseball cap, jester hat. This is all one bundle, so one lucky winner gets all this. And a mini sword letter opener, mouse pad, keychain, t-shirt. There's a lot of stuff.
Nice.
And the question we have for you to win all this is, who narrates the opening of The Sims Medieval? Now, if you have the answer, you can email us at onthespot@gamespot.com or submit your answer in the answer trivia module on the side of the page.
Now, as if all that Sims Medieval stuff weren't enough, as Sophia mentioned, we're also giving away a Sony Bloggy Touch personal video camera. Sony was kind enough to send this to us for reasons having something to do with SOCOM 4. I'm still not entirely sure why. But anyways, we have one of these and we're gonna give it away. So the question I have for you is this. What is the Jackie Chan movie that I referenced in a preview for SOCOM 4 earlier this year? If you know the answer, send us an email on the spot at gamespot.com, or like Sophia said, use that little green answer trivia module button on the page right here. And with trivia out of the way, we have officially reached the end of another great program. But Sophia, we've got more great stuff coming up on the Saturday show. Is that not correct?
Yes, that is true. Our UK guys covered the BAFTA Awards, so we should check that out on Saturday, as well as a demo of Catherine and a Sega event with superheroes. It's a lot.
Sounds like there's a lot of great stuff coming up. But for now, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm Sean McInnes.
I'm Sophia Tong.
See you next time. As usual, we've got some great stuff coming up, right?
Right, the UK guys cover the BAFTA Awards, so we'll be checking in with them later in the next show, later this week.
Later in the next show.
Yes, there's more. So our UK guys checked out the BAFTA Awards, and we'll have some updates in next.
Thanks a lot for watching again. I'm Sean McInnes.
I'm Sophia Tong.
Have a good, oh, it's not the weekend. F.